white people did invent evil. Well, that make them gods. And that make them even more better than us because evil prevailing right now. And we can't seem to get it together against this evil monster. So he knows something we don't know, and we at his mercy. We should learn from him then.
When times get tough, you need to get proud. No need to look backward, put your feet on the ground. Stand up, stand up.
Welcome to the TheFallenState. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. The TheFallenState is now on locals.com, so click the link in the description to support our work. And thank you all in advance. I have with me Brother Sanchez, and he is a poet, cosmologist, musician, and YouTuber whose content focuses on exposing the programs used to keep the massive under mind control. Brother Sanchez, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you for having me, Jesse.
Yes, sir. What is a cosmologist?
It's a person that studies cosmology. It's the study of the cosmos or the universe. And that's basically what I expertise in particular, ancient cosmology.
And what have you discovered from the universe or the cosmologist?
What I've learned studying cosmology is the different layers of our reality. And we know that we are more than just our body, that we have a soul or mind as well. And so the cosmology taps into these invisible part of our reality that governs the visible part, because everything starts from a thought. And we can't see a thought until it's manifested from the mind of the thinker. And basically, ancient cosmology dives into how the world we live in is one supreme, one grand thought from the mind of a great thinker, which we all call the creator, no matter what name you may give it or whatever that may be.
So give me an example how the cosmologists work with the mind or with thoughts. What do you mean by that? Give me an example. What does it do? Give me an example of what it does.
The way that the ancestors perceived our reality is they taught that there were multiple realities within realities, and that when we dream, our mind is literally going out of our body into parallel universes where there's another alternate version of ourself there. And the cosmology actually gives you a conception, some of the picture in macrocosm, if you will, of how that would look like. And also it explains why the ancestors spent a lot of time in meditation. The cosmology was them trying to explore. Today we say we want to go to other planets and all of that stuff, and we want to use rockets to launch off the earth. But the ancestors basically was in meditation, astral travel. Before we had astronauts, they was launching themselves out of their body into these dream worlds and alternate universes. So we don't really have control over when we dream, Jesse, but the ancestors actually, they wanted to build a system to harness that, to harness their Dejavu ability, because today they teach us a different thing about Dejavu than what the ancestors said. This is some sort of seeing in the future gift. This would explain like the prophets in the Bible and everybody who was being able to see into the future. Maybe we not harnessing this Dejavu like we should, but these are just some of the things that cosmology goes into, and even much more than that.
What good does that serve? How does that help people?
I think it helped people by giving them answers to questions that can make us feel disconnected from the source creator if some of these things are a mystery. Like with the ancestor, what it done for me personally, and I come from a Christian background, I'm from the Bible Belt, and what it done for me was the ancestors had the throne of God in the middle of our earth. They basically was saying we're not separated from God. And we don't really serve a God that's million light years away, separated from us by space, that the source of our creation is right here among us. So one thing that did, it got rid of the separation between me and the creator. It gave me a new way to look at reality, to take away a lot of the spookism. When I started understanding the way the ancestors conceive the universe, there's no way, that I could have some of the doomsday fears that modern people have, because I understand this is a stable built system that we in. No matter how smart man get, he cannot destroy what, the Most High has built. That's just my understanding. And that takes away a lot of stress and stuff. I remember Donald Trump was denying climate change. He was pushing back on a lot of the stuff that they try to put out there to give us fears and all of that. One thing that I believe, if one of the ancestors was walking this earth today, they would definitely deny it too. There's a lot of things they lie to us about. And when you start studying the cosmology, it uncovers a lot of those things. And just for one thing, it takes away a lot of fears that they used to govern us with. But it does so much. And when someone say what exactly does it does for the world, that's like saying, what does basketball does for the world, or what does hockey does for the world, what it does for the individual who's interested in that walk of life. So if a person is interested in botany, they'll go down a path of studying plants. If a person has questions about the stars or the universe, they will go down a path of cosmology. So, and I think that path will benefit the world in many ways by answering questions that we just don't know right now.
I agree that we are not separated from God, that we are all one with Him already. But most people don't know that. And as a result of not knowing that, they have fear and doubt and worry and anxiety and jealousy, envy, strife, revenge, and all that kind of stuff, because they don't know that we are not separated from God. They have identified the ego nature, which is the devil. They have identified that as themselves, and they are overreacting to that. Do you have peace? You have perfect peace?
I have peace, but I wouldn't say it's perfect.
Why not?
Perfection is a big word, That's saying 100%, not even 99.9.
But if you know that if we are truly connected to God and not to this false self, why wouldn't you have perfect peace?
I think that the Creator don't want to give us perfect peace, because that'll make us comfortable, and getting comfortable will stagnate your growth. So I do think that the Creator gives us a level of peace and comfortability, but also a little bit of fire, test, and uncomfortability, so that you can keep growing and evolving, if that make any sense.
But there is no you to grow. You've already grown. You're already one with Him. There is no growth necessary, because you're already whole. He came that we might be made whole, and we are already whole. There is nothing to grow.
Hey, if you're going with that scripture, I can't really push back on that one. But I guess, yeah, we are whole. That's facts. We are whole.
Yeah.
But I think that part of us is learning what we are. Like, if the Most High gave us these awesome gifts inside of us, we spend most of our life unwrapping and to peel through the layers to get to it. And and like you said, we already have been granted perfect peace. There's perfection within us being connected to a perfect creator. But our journey in his life, I guess, is accessing that or yes, bringing that out of ourselves. But then the question would be, would this explain the trials and tribulations of this life to help us access this golden part of ourselves that's laying dormant inside of us?
In all honesty, and I know that you're asking, but in all honesty, we don't have any real trial or tribulation at all. If we didn't identify with the false stuff, we would just be living. We would just be with no issues, no trials, no tribulation, none of those things, because everything has been settled. When Christ came and when he died, it was finished, it was done, and all we have to do is just live. But because human beings are in a fallen state and they don't know it, they are living a life that is not real. It's an illusion. When you say ancestors, who are you referring to?
I'm referring to all of the people that walked this earth in days of antiquity, of all creeds and colors. And it's just a general way of paying my respect to those that came before me, of our forefathers and foremothers.
Okay. Do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state?
Most definitely. I think that we're definitely in a fallen state.
And what is the fallen state?
The fallen state is, I think that the average human is going outside being what they think the world think they should be, rather than who God made them to be.
Okay. And so, and who are they supposed to be rather than what? I mean, what did God make us to be?
I think that's all in our heart, and that when we don't follow our heart, we become everything we shouldn't be. And any decision we make, if it's led with the heart, is not a wrong decision.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Do you have love?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And what is love?
Man, everybody say they have love, but how do we define love? Love is a sense of connection and attachment to a person that goes beyond definition. And I just proved that with my lack of words for it. Yeah, I think that love is just the magnetic force in nature that connects all things, and hate would be the repulsive force that repels all things. So love to me is the highest vibrational energy, and it's a form of it's a unifying, and the most unifying energy in our universe.
So do you have love and hate?
I think that every human have both of them.
So you have love and hate.
Yes.
And what is hate?
Hate would be a sense, a high, strong sense of disdain or dislike for something or someone, up until the point where you wish that it didn't even exist within this reality. And I think that, hate by itself isn't bad, and love by itself isn't necessarily good, because people can love drugs, people can love games, people can love bad food, and people can hate good things. People can hate the truth. People can hate the creator. So hate by itself isn't bad, and love by itself isn't by default good.
So how are you able to have love and hate?
Because I love good things, but I hate bad things. I'm like the Most High God that said hated those evil things.
And what are good things? Give me an example of good things.
Good things would be men raising their children and men standing up for what's right, not biting their tongue. Good things would be people looking beyond the race baiting division and all of that the media show, and looking past like the color boundaries and all of that, and understanding that we have a common enemy and that our government has been infiltrated. So there's a lot of good things. Good things would be if we would stand up as parents and fight back against the rainbow attacks that's going on to the kids in the school systems and all of this stuff.
And why
These
do you
will be some beautiful things, some good,
and why do you call those things good?
because they will produce positivity on the earth. They will bring forth a heavenly reality outside, because right now we're building hell on earth, but we have all the opportunity to build heaven on earth.
So can you build heaven on earth with love and hate?
Yeah, because you're going to need them both to build heaven on earth. You're going to need love and hate, because to maintain heaven on earth, you're going to have to hate evil. The moment we stop hating evil, then we're going to take our foot off of evil's neck. So we got to maintain strong hate for evil and strong love for what is righteousness and positive and good. And that'll be not only creating heaven on earth, but maintaining it, creating a mentality that will ensure that this heavenly state will be sustained.
So do you know God?
I think I do.
And
I hope I do.
and do you and are you aware of the devil?
Yes, but I have my personal own interpretation of them both.
And so is God love and hate?
Yes.
And is the devil love and hate?
The devil is God acting out his hate.
The devil is God?
You have the most high and you have the most low. Any human can be an angel or devil, depending on how you approach them. I consider myself an angelic being, but if someone is trying to harm my children, I can be a demon. I can be a demon.
What the?
Yeah.
And who is God?
Who is God?
Yeah.
I believe the question would be, who is God not? God is all of us. God is everything there is. There's nothing you can say is not God. So I think the question would be, who is God not?
Amazing. So who is God not?
Hey, I'm stuck right there. Hey, God is God. God is, period. So when we say who is God not, there's no way to answer that, because God is everything, everyone.
So if you
Good
can't tell
and
us
bad.
if you can't tell us who he's not, how do you know what you believe is true?
I don't know what I believe is true. And that's why I think it's a belief and not a fact.
Oh,
I got to have faith.
what's important to you?
What's important to me more than anything is truth. And the reason is because I heard that was the stuff that set us free.
Are you a Christian? You say you're a Christian?
I wouldn't consider myself a Christian, but I do consider myself a student of the Bible.
Oh, and why do you say most high?
Because the creator that we serve, there is none higher than it.
Oh, okay. In your bio, you claim to be shedding light on the diabolical agendas of the controllers. Can you explain that?
Yes, I think that the people that are in power don't always have our best interest in mind as humanity. In fact, most of the time they don't. I think it's all about money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we got to expose these agendas that go on in these high places. Even the Bible say there are principalities of evil in high places. It's talking about in these key seats of government, seats of power and stuff like that. And if we let crooks in these positions, if we let, we already know that our system have been infiltrated by a lot of people that just are robbing the American people. So I think that the most revolutionary thing we can do in the age of social media is to expose that. And that's what I'm trying to play my role in doing.
Oh, I see. Do you believe that all thoughts are all lies all the time? No such thing as a true thought?
There's definitely such thing as a true thought.
What's a true thought?
A true thought would be higher vibrations will create a positive world to live in. That's a true thought.
And what is a higher vibration?
Good positive energy. We live in a world where every time we turn the news on, it's something to get your negative energy, get you down, something to make you divided, this one versus that one. But I think we need to learn to balance and unplug and harness these higher vibrations, these unifying energies. We are good at being divisive as Americans, so we get the trophy for that, but we don't have no knowledge on how to be united, and we say a house divided can't stand. So that's what I'm saying about these higher vibrations.
Do you create your own thoughts?
Yes, I think, therefore I am, and I am the thinker.
So you
The one and I am the creator of my own.
And how do you create your own thought?
Some things we do and we can't explain how we do it, but we know we do it. I don't think thoughts are necessarily created, though. I think they're conceived. And when a thought is conceived, it's not really created. It's just, I don't think a thought has an origin point. I think all thoughts are parts of yourself influencing this part of yourself from other realities and dimensions. When they say there's no new thoughts, there's no original thought, I think we are channeling ideas from different versions of ourselves. Because I think this version of ourselves is more to this universe than what we see here in the flesh. And I do think that our thoughts govern our body, but I don't think we create our thoughts.
But you said you create your own thought.
Yeah, I think we conceive them is what I want to say.
Conceive them, what does that mean? What does conceive mean?
It's the difference between a baby being created in a fetal bag and a baby being conceived, meaning the soul of the baby can't be created. Energy can't be created. It's transformation 9-month process in a fetal bag. But when the soul lands, that's called conception. When the thought lands into the brain, that's called conception. The creation process is me manifesting a thought. Now if I have a thought of a chair, then I gotta go create the chair. But I didn't create the thought. I conceived the thought.
And if you are conceiving the thought, where are they coming from?
And I think that our thoughts either come from the most high or most low. Because if I'm thinking of a thought that can help humanity, that's a thought that's coming from the most high. If I'm thinking of a thought like a bomb or a gun or something that can destroy or hurt humanity, these thoughts are coming from the most low.
So you're not creating them then if they're coming from somewhere else, right?
No, we're just channeling these. They're flowing through us from these higher dimensions. This is called conception. But when we conceive the thought, us being creators, we then can create it in the physical realm. That's when the creation process happened.
Amazing. You that's amazing. You said something about, have you noticed that the thoughts are divided? The intellect is divided.
The intellect is divided. You mean among humanity?
In human being, it feels one way and think one thing, and then it makes you feel good because it causes you to think what are perceived to be good things, good thoughts. And the moment you're thinking good thought, it makes you think bad thoughts. And now you're feeling bad. And then when you're feeling bad, it makes you think good thoughts, and now you're feeling good. You're up and down because it's divided. If there's a high, there's a low. If there's a low, there's a high. If there's a no, there's a yes, and a yes is a no. Is that from you or from God or from the devil?
I think it's a combination of all those.
How can
And
that
I
be?
think God uses the devil all the time. I mean, God and the devil are like teammates, right?
No.
God can't do evil, so he uses the devil for his little enforcement crew, like when he needs some evil done, right?
No. Where you get that from?
Well, I thought the devil got to go to God for permission before he can do anything bad, like in the case of Job.
Right, but Job was a man. Job believed in God. He was a son of God, but most people have not returned to God, so they are sons and daughters of the devil. And so the devil is working through them and not God.
But do God allow the devil to work through people?
He doesn't. He let whatever you let happen. He doesn't allow it, nor does he. He's not. He's just letting you, make a fool out of yourself.
He sees what you're gonna do.
Until you wake up and return to him. Because
So you saying
the devil has no control. He has no power. He has nothing. He's weak. He's just the accuser. And as long as you believe the accuser, then you're of the devil. But when you doubt the accuser, you're of God.
so? When we ask the question, why is there an intellectual divide between the highs and lows? In my mind, I'm saying at your highest point, you're more vulnerable to being egotistical. So there's some sort of balancing force where the creator had to say, okay, you made it to this high point, but let me also give you something just to keep you humble, so you don't get too egotistical. And maybe that will explain like this high and low dynamic that we experience. And also I would ask you, Jesse, doesn't the Bible back up the fact that Satan, if he has to get permission from God to do evil, God is authorizing a lot of the evil we see on the earth? He said, I'm the God, I give, I take it away, I do evil and I do good. This is in the Bible, right?
But he doesn't have to get permission to do evil unto his own children. He only had to get it to do it with Job because Job didn't belong to him. But once you return to God, it's impossible for Satan to do evil to you.
Yeah.
And most people most people into evil are of their father, the devil. They don't know it. And you said that when someone get too high, they go on an ego trip, right? They be tripping on the ego. But the person that's on the ego trip on high is also on an ego trip on low because they love being low and they love complaining and they feel good about it. It feels like life to them, just like the person that's on the high ego trip. They love that because they think that is life too, but both are lies. It's all ego. Neither is true.
That is, I 100% agree with that. I didn't think about the flip side of that. A person can be so high in their own victim-based mindset, and that will cater to that low side. Actually, I think that might be the majority, though,
That's all people
of
until they
our
overcome
society.
it. It's all people until they are born again of the Spirit of God,
Yeah.
of the Father.
Now let me ask you a question. What is it to be born again of the Spirit of God?
To die from the false you, to die from the ego nature of the devil, to die from all thoughts and all feelings and all emotions, and to overcome the not you, then you will be one with the Father. You will see and know the Father. But you got to overcome the not you. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You're not your body. You're none of those things. And when you can overcome that, then you can live.
I totally agree with that. I agree that we are gods as well. When Jesus said, "Didn't ye know that ye are gods?" And so with that being said, I want to ask you one more question. Is it blasphemous for a Christian to say they're a God if Christ said we're gods?
I almost don't want to put that out there right now because I know how people mind work, but it's only blasphemy to say it if you don't truly know who you are. If you're living in this fallen state, you don't know what you're talking about, right? You just people just repeat the Bible. But if you return to the Father, then that would be yes.
That makes 100%. That makes sense.
But most people are just saying it because they read it. They don't really believe it.
Yeah. So it's not really their truth.
Right,
Yeah.
It's not true. Let me ask, what's wrong with the blacks?
I think what's wrong with the blacks, whatever I start, I think that first of all, we don't know who to put our energy and resources into, and we don't know who's for us and against us, Jesse. And I think that we can be given a lot of idols, puppets, celebrities in front of us as leaders, and these people lead us astray every time. Like what we see going on with the Kyrie Irving and Kanye West thing, I think we get behind a lot of people that just don't, what they stand for don't really benefit us as a collective. It only benefit them. For example, when we got behind Kaepernick and all of that, a lot of people are able to capitalize off of our oppression and struggle who don't really mean us no well. It's just to get them whatever they're trying to get. Kaepernick got a big deal after all that kneeling and stuff because Nike know that they can sell more products based upon linking their merchandise with people's struggle and stuff. Consumers buy off emotions and connections. And so with people promoting these, what Kyrie Irving was promoting this DVD or whatever, and sales are skyrocketing, it's boosting in numbers. And this ain't gonna liberate black people. Black people, we wanna do what's easy, what's for show, what is for attention, but not what's righteousness, not what's right. I think that we like to take the easy path and get a pat on the back versus take the hard path and do what we know the righteous thing to do. And I just think we vulnerable to false leaders and false puppets. You can put anybody in front of us and we'll bite at it. That's why Hillary had the hot sauce bottle. Stuff like that you can only do if you know these people are just that
Dumb.
easy to dumb, yeah.
Do you have a leader?
Yes, my leader is the Most High.
I noticed that most, not all, but most black people believe in physical leaders. And as long as they believe that, they're going to be led down the wrong road because we should not have physical leaders. And ever since the Civil Rights Movement, which was a big mistake for the blacks, the Civil Rights Movement was one of the worst things other than abortion that has ever happened to black people. And it came along, and blacks gave their lives over to the so-called civil rights leaders, and it's just been downhill for them ever since. Why would the blacks have another human being over them, especially men? Why do they believe in physical leaders?
Man, wow. And you know, this got a lot to do with stunted growth and development within black men. A lot got to do with not having a father figure there. We'll seek one later in life.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be through a politician, a pastor, an athlete, a celebrity, a rapper. And I don't even think that these kind of idols would even be successful if we had more fathers in the house, because people with the fathers in the house, they really idolize their father over any of these puppets. You cannot put a puppet over the father as their hero.
That's right.
You know,
You're absolutely right. That's amazing. What's your impression of Kanye West? What do you
think, me personally, I think he's a spoiled, crying baby who is in a privileged position that a lot of people would kill to be in, and he complained more than people who are struggling every day. And I think that he's got a video out saying he's very jealous of the Jewish community because he wants black people, you know, to be like the Jews or whatever. But he got to lead by example, in my opinion. I think that my opinion of Kanye West is he's not really no hero standing up against the bad Jews. He's a whining baby who's mad he can't do the kind of business with them that he wants to do. He's not fighting against them. He's basically trying to do more. A lot of our people think Kanye is risking it all. He's going after the big bad Jews and risking everything he got. All of his revolutionary work only starts when something's not going his way. He only want to be a revolutionary when something not going his way. I also think that his idea of running for president is laughable. I think that a lot of these rappers, entertainers, celebrities, and stuff like that, they should kind of be slow to having these radical political approaches, if you ask me. I'm kind of a fan of shut up and dribble. I'm kind of a fan of, hey, shut up and rap, man. Like, let people who are expertise in politics, engage with that. Like, for example, Herschel Walker running for, I don't really agree with stuff like this. Politicians can't infiltrate the sports arena. And I don't think athletes and rappers should be able to infiltrate politics. I don't think they really know enough. And I think Kanye West is a prime example of what I'm saying. He's very hypocritical. He's double talking, and I just think he's a big distraction, and he's very divisive, like with the White Lives Matter shirt. Why not wear an All Lives Matter shirt if you really want to be a voice of unity? Stuff like that. He do a lot of things for attention. And impulsive behavior. A lot of people say he's got mental issues or whatever. If that's true, I say let's get him some mental help and let's keep him off the camera for a while till he get his mind right. So I can go on and on and on about Kanye West, and I got several streams where I'm doing that.
Amazing. And how about the radical far left, fat, black, lesbians, Black Lives Matter? What's your impression of them? Lesbian.
And at this point, no one takes Black Lives Matter serious. There were people who were defending Black Lives Matter when I was going at them. They're not even defending them no more. And I've been debating people from different communities, a lot of people from the pro-Black community. And I think Black Lives Matter lost a lot of momentum and credibility ever since the situation with the money and all of that. And even before that, you just can't take it's not really a movement of Black revolutionaries. Again, like you said, it's a movement of rainbow revolutionaries. And any person that's really standing for the plight of Black people and think that there's some kind of benefit to us supporting Black Lives Matter at all, they're just not, I would say they're not woke. They're not aware of what's going on here. Black Lives Matter isn't owned by Black people, by the way. So why would it have the agenda in mind of Black people?
That's amazing.
So everything that it stands for, everything that and the Black people that's the puppets in the face of it are just milking it. They're cash cows and only in it for their own interest. The only person benefiting off Black Lives Matter is a handful of crooks, not Black people.
Amazing. There are a lot of Black, not a lot, but there are Black people calling themselves the original Jews, Black Jews. What do you think of that? Like the Hebrew Israelite, I think, some other folks out there. What do you think of all that?
I think these people should do stand-up comedy. And I think that when we say we're the original Hebrew, first of all, everywhere we see Judaism being practiced, it's being taught by white people. And yes, we're going to put the skin tone in it. Blacks, this is not part of our culture. Everyone know we are tribal people from the jungle, no shoes on, and they skirts, leaf skirts on, and with the bones and the noses, and this is where we come from. So we need to embrace that. We look at that is what our people come from. We are people from the jungle. We say that we are tribal people. When the pilgrims came to this land, they had shoes on, hats on, a lot of clothes on, and we wanted to dress up. We looked at our feet and we said, hey, maybe it would be a good idea, to put shoes on. We wanted to copy off the pilgrims' culture because in our mind, it made sense to us. We had bow and arrows. He had a rifle. And if you can't beat them, you can learn from them, right?
Yeah.
So the pilgrim came over here. He had a brew pot. He's on the oatmeal box for a reason because he taught us with his witch pot, his brew pot, he was brewing up the oatmeal. That wasn't magic elixirs, right? He was brewing up a bunch of stuff and grits and all of this stuff. The pilgrim was building roads and all of that. And what happened was a lot of the children from the jungle, when they saw the pilgrim children dressed up in, heels, shoes, forging metals, technological, we left the jungle. Our children, up on the chief such and such, Chief Big Hawk, whatever, the chiefs couldn't keep the children from assimilating into the pilgrim's culture because, in my opinion, the children of the tribes thought that this life was better. And slowly but surely, all of our people left the jungle and assimilated into the colonies. And now when you go to the jungle, you can see our ruins and temples that we left. But we cannot act like we were always pilgrims. This was taught to us. And it's okay if you admire Jewish culture, pilgrim culture, Hebrew culture, and you want to assimilate in it and practice it. Then just say that. But to claim it as yours is something that Black people do too often. We want to be the first Hebrews. We want to be the first Moors. We want to be the first everything. And I just don't think that's realistic. I think it's childish.
Amazing. So now I understand. I grew up in Alabama on a plantation, and I used to hate wearing shoes. And even outdoors, I would go without wearing my shoes. And I remember going up to Indiana once to stay for a minute. And I was walking up and down the street with no shoes on because I hated wearing shoes. And so my uncle caught me with no shoes. And he's like, boy, get your A back in that house and put on some shoes. I bet I never see you walking the street with no shoes. Now I understand where that came from. I didn't know it was from the jungle.
Right? Yeah, that's from our jungle ancestors.
What a
You know,
mess.
and that's why we like to get. Yeah. And so, you know, if you look at our people today, we wear less clothes today. If our women wear less clothes, the men like to wear, you know, so that's part of our jungle culture too. So, you know, I just think it's kind of crazy to claim that we're the original Hebrews when everything about Judaic customs, traditions has been taught to us by white rabbis. I even put up a picture. Now, in the documentary Hebrews to Negro, the claim is that the black Jews originate in Africa. Now, Jesse, when you go and see what's happening in Africa, there are white rabbis and white missionaries over there teaching them guys how to wear a tefillin, how to tie a tie, what are the Jewish customs and traditions. If we are the original Jews, we should be teaching them, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Amazing. Let me ask, because of time here, does racism exist?
Racism does exist, but not in the forms that groups like Black Lives Matter and liberal groups would want us to believe. I think racism exists in the form of the rich race versus the poor race, and it has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with our richest people in the world only thinking for themselves and not what's best for the collective of humanity most of the time.
Amazing.
That's the racism.
Do you love white people?
Oh, yeah, I love white people, all color people.
And how about white people?
Yes, I love white people.
What is
Love them to death.
Amazing. Are you a leader? Do you see yourself as a leader?
Others see me as a leader. I just see myself as some dude on YouTube with a mic talking a lot of crap and provoking people,
I know
getting
what you
them mad.
Amazing. Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
What would I have to forgive her for?
For recreating you in her image?
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. So how does she recreate me in her image? I look more like my dad, Jesse.
I know, but all that emotion you have and stuff like that came from her when she imposed her will on you.
Oh.
And she
All
hated,
of the emotions.
and she hated the fact that you remind her of your father because she didn't like your father.
You think so? Now, that's true for a lot of cases, but I don't know if it's true for mine. See, Jesse, you think it's true for 100% of the cases.
Right. Not all, not all. There's always an exception to the rule, for sure. I never say not all, it's not all. All are born in sin, of course, and all need to be born again. All who are born through the mother are born in sin, and all those who are born of the spirit of the Father overcome the nature, the sin, the physical stuff that they're into. Your mother made no mistakes with you?
I would say that men are just as much as emotional as women to that argument.
You are, because every man that is emotional is a woman.
So wait a minute.
They got
now.
that from the mothers.
Napoleon Bonaparte, even all of the great men who were warriors and fighters, like you had St. Patrick, Napoleon Bonaparte, all of these were men who were led into combat by their emotions.
Right, and when they came home from the combat, they got beat up by their wives.
Oh, man. Hey, that's a good one right there. Because, hey, that's a good one right there, though.
Let me ask, so your mother, there was nothing about your mother that you wish she didn't do, or she would stop doing, or stop saying? She didn't do anything wrong? that you didn't like growing up?
My mother was. My mother wasn't perfect, but I'm not gonna put her on blast on here though. I would say that my mother wasn't perfect, and my pops wasn't either, for that matter.
And did you forgive her?
Then who is perfect?
Did you forgive her for
Oh,
those
yeah, I
little
forgave
things that you didn't like? Have you told her you were sorry for resenting her for those things? She couldn't help it. She did her
I
best.
have.
And you told her that? What'd she say?
Well, she well, I didn't tell her exactly in those words.
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe I should, huh?
Yeah. If you want to be born of the Father, you must forgive the mother. Because as long as you don't forgive her, you can't know the Father. You can't be born of God. When you go and forgive her and your father for not protecting you from her, then God, don't ask for forgiveness, forgive them. And God will forgive you. Then you shall live.
So let me ask you a question, Jesse. You agree with Kanye when he said that the worst place for a black person in America is in the belly of a black woman?
The worst place for, oh yeah, I think what he meant, I'm not sure if he meant because so many black babies are being killed in the womb, then yes, because in New York City, more black babies are being killed in the womb than there are born. And so, yes, in that sense, if that's what he meant about it.
Okay, so this is one of the reasons why you saying that the woman is really bearing the brunt of more of the sin, more so as the man, because in a lot of the
No, finish your point.
You said, yeah, because what I hear from not only you but a lot of guys is that, like, even when we read Genesis, Eve is taking the most of the blame for the perils and evils in the world. And I also see a lot of men blaming mostly the women for why the world is really kind of can't get over this hump. But I never really understood why it wasn't like a 50-50 blame. Maybe you can kind of tell me why the woman is at the forefront of the world's iniquity.
Because it was the woman who listened to the devil and wouldn't listen to her husband, but she listened to the devil. And when she listened to the devil, she took on the devil's nature. She became the daughter of the devil, and the devil became her God. And then Adam listened to the woman, and when he listened to the woman, he could no longer listen to his father, and the woman became his God. So Adam is to blame for listening to the woman. He's totally responsible for that. And the woman is to blame for listening to the devil. Each individual is to blame for their own action as adults.
And so today, that curse is still among the majority of women as far as them listening to, because a lot of when we talk about these abortions, you got commercials promoting it, free abortions, boom, boom, boom. They're not promoting preventative stuff.
Right.
They promoting reckless behavior and stuff. So I totally can see where you're going there. The women just gonna have to be mad at me for agreeing with that one.
Yeah, because the woman don't realize that her nature is not her own. Her nature is that of the devil. And that's why they're so emotional. They have fear. They live in their imagination. They believe all thoughts and feelings. They think that is them, but it's not. It's the spirit of Eve in them that was passed down from Satan. It went through Satan. It went from Satan to Eve, and so it's given to all women until they are born again of the Father. They have to love their fathers, forgive their mothers for imposing that will on them, and then forgive their father for not protecting. And when they love their earthly father, they love God, and so that nature of the devil will be taken away from them. It's not them, but it's the devil nature in them, but they think it's them.
And you know that I also want to say to this, Jesse, that I don't think the worst place to be is in the belly of a black woman.
Where's the worst
I
place?
think the worst place to be is in a system of injustice and inequality. Because once you fix the system, everything else will be fixed. Because there's a reason why there's a worse place. That's a bad place to be. If America is a bad place to go to because it's dangerous, you can get robbed, you can get mugged. It's bad because of the system or the laws that's governing it. For the same reason why a woman can get abortion like it's nothing. In a real world, like abortions would be illegal. And we know there's a lot of feminist groups and liberal groups that are fighting to kill their babies. And just something I wanted to point out a little off subject while I'm saying that, Jesse, I saw it was a sister that was arguing with me, right? She was defending Kyrie Irving. And I actually went to her page and she was arguing about women not being able to have abortions and how people don't want women to, taking away the ladies' rights or whatever, taking away the women's rights. But I said to myself, she's defending a celebrity while fighting for the right to kill her baby.
I know.
The dynamic on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of propaganda and systems in place to promote this abortion because they over-sexualizing the children.
Yeah.
And then, and it is just no discipline on a sex level.
But they're not,
so
you're not
it's
gonna,
always...
You're not going to fix the system until you fix the heart. The system is coming from the heart, and the hearts are wicked. And until you change the heart, the system is going to only get worse because the hearts of mankind, I mean men and women, are evil. But when you change the heart from hate to love, then the system will get better. The people are the system. It's not physical, it's spiritual. So if you want to change the system, you got to change the heart.
You know what, Jesse? That is perfectly said because a lot of people would defend an evil system because they evil.
Right.
And I've spoke about, I've had folks, and you're right, you just can't fix the system till you fix the people because so many people will defend this evil stuff. Right? That's just facts, yeah.
Did you vote for the Great White Hope?
This the part where y'all gonna get mad at me here. I don't vote at all anymore.
So you didn't vote for Donald Trump?
And the reason, but if I had to vote, it'll definitely be Donald Trump. It'll definitely be Trump over anybody else, even though I don't really like Trump like everybody else like him neither. And
why you stopped voting? Have you ever voted?
Yeah, I voted for George Bush when I was in the military.
Oh, okay. And what made you stop voting?
I just stopped. I stopped believing that my votes mattered when I realized my life didn't matter.
Oh, okay.
That's why I say if your lives don't matter, then your votes don't matter.
What is a man?
A man is the embodiment of masculine energy. He is a protector, provider, leader, forerunner. He should be a self-motivator, self-starter, self-initiator. And I just think that a man should be the dominant physical force of strength in his household.
So it's time for me to heat this interview up. So I got to throw you on the hot seat, and I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
All right.
The hot seat. Do we need more white babies?
Yes.
True or false? The first Native American was black. Were black. The first Native Americans were black. True or false?
Totally true. Aboriginals all day.
Is the Earth flat or round?
It's totally flat.
Did you take the jab?
Not at all.
Do you smoke pot?
I love pot.
Does a chicken have lips?
Nah, it got beak. It have a beak.
True or false? Abortion is worse than slavery.
Oh, wow. I only can say true or false. I think they're the same, but I would have to say false.
Did Big Mama Michelle Obama eat up all the ribs?
True.
Is it ever okay to call a woman fat?
Yes, it is.
Elon Musk buying Twitter, was that a good thing or a bad thing?
It was an Elon thing. Nah, it was a. I'm gonna say it was a good thing.
What are you drinking when you're doing your show and drinking?
I'm drinking Dutch Brothers coffee. Nope, they don't sponsor me, but I normally drink that or either wine or something like that.
So by the end of the show, are you drunk?
By the end of the show, sometimes.
Amazing. Thank you for taking the hot seat and thanks for coming on. Tell the folks how to get to your podcast or whatever you're doing.
Go to YouTube, put in Bro Sanchez TV, and I should pop right up. And you guys, you're going to enjoy the content. That's where you can find me.
Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jesse. It was awesome.
Amazing. So you have your last name is Sanchez?
That's my middle name.
Oh, because Sanchez is a Mexican name. You look black to me.
My mother named me and my brother. She gave us both Mexican middle names. So I'm Sanchez. He's Martez.
Amazing.
I think she wanted some of that essay. She might have wanted some of that essay love, Jesse.
Evidently. Well, thank you, man. And thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, follow, tweet, and all that good stuff. And the TheFallenState is on locals.com. So click the link in the video description to support our work. Let me hear from you. And thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks for your support.